mere just hours away from President Biden's 2024 State of the Union address. He's set to, of course, speak to a joint session of Congress. That's going to be at 9 o'clock right here on NBC Boston. Thanks for staying with us, everyone. I'm Colton Bradford.
And I'm Priscilla Casper. While the State of the Union address is an annual event this year, NBC10 political commentator Sue O'Connell tells us this is Biden's re-election kickoff. So more important than ever here.
So with that, let's bring in the commentator herself, Sue O'Connell. Sue, we asked you, I love this. We asked you to come up with a checklist for the president, sort of the 18 things that he needs to do in order for tonight to be a success, for tonight to be a successful speech.
Yeah, so we want to give you a look at all of them, and you can find the list. It's on NBC10Boston.com right now. You say, Sue, you give him a point for each thing he does, meaning he needs to score 18 out of 18. So let's talk about a few of them. Number 2 here, you say he needs to be tough on the border. Now, that is a lane Republicans have occupied for a while now. How can the president appear tougher on the border than Republicans?
Okay, Priscilla, I'll tell you how. And also, you should print that out at home so you can play along with us while we watch the State of the Union. All right, so he can be tough on the border by pointing out that he was willing to sign a bill into law that would give him the power to close the border if the number of migrants crossing reached a certain level. And he was willing to make it more difficult to get asylum. If only those darn Republicans in the House had passed that bipartisan agreement. So Biden could do that, but he also has to be careful not to really upset the progressive wing of the Democratic Party and voters, immigration activists, not big Biden fans. But he could temper those critics a little bit if he mentions a plan for the DACA kids, who obviously are still living in limbo. That would help him get complete control of who is actually taking action on the border, migrants and immigration.
All right, the one I want to zero in here is number 4, express confidence in the vice president. Even some of the Democrats don't have a lot of confidence in Vice President Kamala Harris. So what exactly do you mean by that, Sue?
All right. So normally the mention of a vice president in the State of the Union speech is not really that important. But remember, this is essentially a general election launch speech. And there are some concerns from some Democrats. They are concerned about Biden's age. And that means they are looking at the vice president, and some are not fully on board with Kamala Harris. So what can Biden do? I think Biden could take a moment to tout the VP's accomplishments and share some of the spotlight with her more than he might usually do. He could highlight her work at the Munich Security Conference, a NATO meeting, when he talks about Ukraine, or her meeting with Benny Gantz, a member of Israel's war cabinet, just yesterday. All of this would help amplify her readiness if the unthinkable happens.
So you mentioned President Biden's age. One thing I noticed on there, you mentioned that the president needs to talk about Trump's age. Biden, of course, is older than Trump. Doesn't he run the risk of maybe perhaps reminding people of his own age here?
Well, as Hillary Clinton said this week, we have to accept the reality that Biden is old. So none of us are going to forget that, and that's all we seem to be talking about. So he should just lean into it and saying, as Clinton also said, look at 77 and 81. They're basically the same age. So, hey, maybe he could make a light, fun reference like when Trump and I were young men back in 1966. So, again, usually the State of the Union isn't a place where you would mention your political opponent, but this isn't a usual state of the nation, and nothing this year, this campaign season, is normal.
Nothing this year?
I mean, just look at Colton.
Nothing. Nothing this year, Sue? The commentator herself, Sue O'Connell. We appreciate you jumping on it for
You're
us.
welcome.
Of course, you can watch President Biden's State of the Union address right here on NBC10 Boston. Join Lester Holt, Savannah Guthrie, and the NBC News team for live coverage, analysis, and the Republican response. Coverage begins tonight at 9.
All right, and you can catch Sue along with our Corey Smith every Sunday morning right here on NBC10 Boston. They dive into some of the biggest political headlines right after Meet the Press with Kristen Welker.